He's done it again. He's actually done it again. Arne Slot has once again managed to talk about PSG. I can't fathom a world where we play PSG in the Champions League just to hear how much this man talks about PSG. You'd swear we play them every week how much he talks about them. So welcome along to Anfield Agenda. My name is Conor. I'm here to talk you through all of the latest Liverpool news, including a quote from Arne Slot from the embargoed section of his press conference, which came out this morning. We have links with Mateus Fernandes of West Ham, a few bits on Xabi Alonso and whether Liverpool could be gearing up to bring him in at some point. We have some news around centre-backs, Alisson, Becker, and a few other bits and pieces as well. It is, of course, match day for the Reds. Liverpool take on Wolves this evening at 8:15pm. We'll be live from 7pm, so please join us for that one. Leave your score predictions in the comments below. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. Going to be optimistic. Going to say Hugo Ekitike bags himself at least 2, if not a hat-trick, but I'm going 3-1. Make sure you subscribe. Never miss when Arne Slot speaks about PSG. If you hit the subscribe button, I can guarantee you personally, we will always bring it up. Let's get on to that quote then. So Arne Slot said, pace in modern football, apart from being really strong at set pieces, is crucial. Not that I needed it because I knew it, but Paris Saint-Germain were a great example last season of pace when it comes to the forwards, to win the Champions League from open play and be creative. I thought, that was something we could add to this team and what we've tried to do. But unfortunately, we've only been able to use one player who has had a lot of pace in our front three, and that is Hugo. Alex has been mainly injured, and Jeremy hasn't played a lot of minutes in the Premier League. That's why I always keep on saying that you see progress with us, but what if all these players are fit? This club is in a very good place because we signed so many good players in the summer. Now, I do ultimately understand what he's trying to say, and I do sympathise in a way that, like, a lot of his signings have been basically injured a lot of the season, to be fair, but it does sound a bit like excuses. It does seem like a bit like a man who knows he's under pressure and is asking for more time. Like, I know Craig covered more of the press conference quotes last night in the late video, where Slot was basically begging for more time. He was basically saying, we need patience, give us a chance, rebuilds and transitions take time, which I understand, but we're not really seeing inklings of us getting better. Like, we're getting better results. But can you really say we've been like putting in better performances week in, week out? Because I really don't think we are. That's the thing. I think we are definitely getting better results, but it's not exactly easy on the eye, or we're not blowing teams out of the water, are we? I wanted to start speaking about centre-backs then. I kind of tied this in with the manager situation. So I was reading an article this morning on Anfield Index, and they were kind of alluding to the fact that maybe Liverpool are just starting to gear up to bring in a Xabi Alonso, and maybe our transfer targets is kind of showing us why that could be a possibility. So this article says, if Alonso is the chosen successor in the summer, the most logical evolution is a back three. It would allow Van Dijk to operate centrally, coordinating space rather than chasing it. To his right, rotation between Ibrahim Konate and the incoming Jeremy Jacquet offers athleticism and aggression a young understudy such as Giovanni Leone could learn directly under the captain's guidance. The real regeneration, however, sits on the left. Names linked Nico Schlotterbeck, Mickey van de Ven, Alessandro Bastoni and Murillo all fit a similar mould. Progressive, physically dominant, comfortable defending wide spaces. Different attributes, same intent. Liverpool are clearly preparing to rebuild that flank with a defender capable of playing as a left centre-back in a 3 or covering aggressively in a 4. So names like those mentioned, of course, have been linked. Jarell Kwanzaa has been linked with a move back in recent days. Like, we have a buyback clause which comes in the summer after next, but there is some chatter that Liverpool may be able to bring that forward to this summer. He, of course, plays in a back 3 at Bayer Leverkusen as well, so it does make some sense, to be fair. Like, I had a conversation with Craig about this yesterday, and just the fact that, like, Mickey van de Ven, Murillo, Bastoni, these type of players, like, they do lend themselves to a back 3 rather than a back 4, and maybe there is some sense to this. Maybe the club is either gearing up for Xabi Alonso, or maybe Arne Slot, if he is here next season, wants to move to a back 3 as well. Who knows? There was some reports a few months back as well that some of the underage teams were trialling some like 3 to back formations, and generally with a sporting director, like in the kind of model we have, you generally do tend to have like a style of football that gets taught up through the academy straight through to the first team. Like, you do have the same philosophy. So it will be interesting to see like if that does persist, and if the underage teams continue to play with a back 3, and then Liverpool maybe do go to a back 3 with either Arne Slot or a Xabi Alonso. But just wanted to bring that one to you this morning because I found it quite interesting. Like I said, it would make sense with who the targets seem to be based off the media. But yeah, it's media speculation at the end of the day, but I do find it very interesting. Next up then, David Lynch was speaking with Anfield Index, and he said Liverpool are likely monitoring 21-year-old Mateus Fernandes. Now, I actually lied there. It says Liverpool is likely monitoring, but that's a pet peeve of mine. I know it's such a stupid thing to bring up, but I hate when people refer to football clubs as like a single thing. So like, Liverpool is the best team, not Liverpool are the best team. Like, it's a collective of people. It just makes no sense to me, but do let me know if you agree on that. It is something that just bugs me, and it doesn't matter really, but yeah, I do find that quite annoying. Anyway, if West Ham is relegated, Liverpool could repeat their strategy of signing stars from relegated teams, similar to the previous deals for Jorginho Wijnaldum and Xherdan Shaqiri. So if we are looking at teams going down, we're possibly looking at Mateus Fernandes from West Ham. We're looking at Mickey van de Ven from Spurs. Could Spurs get relegated? We've seen some links with Lucas Bergvall of Spurs as well. Of course, that could come up if Spurs go down. I don't think Spurs are going down, to be honest, but it is funny just to think about it. But yeah, Mateus Fernandes, 21 years of age. Like, he could be a good signing, to be fair, and especially if we could get him at a decent price if West Ham do go down. I know Craig is a big fan of the player. I quite liked how we came across in that game against us, to be fair. He done a very good job. Can't say I've watched a huge amount of him specifically, but definitely a player I will be keeping an eye on more so in the rest of the season. And hopefully, if they do go down, there is a bargain to be got there. Next up then from La Repubblica in Italy said Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson is a transfer target for Inter Milan and Juventus. Both clubs are in the market for a goalkeeper at the end of the season. Alisson is their first choice, Vicario is their second choice. So I would fully expect both of these clubs to come in with a 4-year loan deal, £5 at the end of it to buy Alisson. That's generally how Italian clubs operate. Alisson, of course, is out of contract at the end of the season, but Liverpool do have a +1 extension basically on it where they can trigger that at the end of the season to give him another year. I fully expect the club to do that, but there does seem to be a lot of stories around Alisson Becker lately though, and it all seems to be like Juventus. So maybe it is just the one story being circled around different publications, but what do you think happens here? Because I can't see the club wanting to get rid of him. I can't particularly see him wanting to leave unless he wants to go back to Brazil at some point. And I don't think the club are like, it's not like we're in a point where we're like, right, Mamardashvili's looking brilliant. Let's like kind of shove Alisson out the door while we can. Bring Mamardashvili up to the first choice and then get someone else in a second choice. Like, I don't think we're at that point yet. So the links confuse me. I can understand the interest, but I will be interested to see like if the club or the player are interested in any of these moves, because my guess would be no, but who knows really. Few quick stats then. Hugo Ekitike has more goal involvements than any other Premier League summer signing since the start of December. So we have Benjamin Sesko, Ryan Cherky, Victor Gyökeres and Brian Mbeumo on 6. We have Cunha on 7, João Pedro on 8, Calvert-Lewin on 9 and Hugo Ekitike in a league of his own on 11. 11 goal contributions since the start of December. That is fantastic. 3 goal involvements for Hugo Ekitike against West Ham, of course. Got himself a goal and he got 2 assists as well. He is just fantastic, isn't he? Like, I can't say enough how much I love this man. I really have fallen in love with him. Like I've said a few times, he's a perfect blend of Fernando Torres and Bobby Firmino. He's going to be an absolute superstar and I can't wait to watch him week in, week out because he's only going to get better and he's already ridiculous. Quick little jet off to Spain then. We're not going to bullshit island today though. We're going straight to Madrid where Trent Alexander-Arnold played only 55 minutes of Real Madrid's awful 1-0 defeat to Getafe on Monday night. Diario AS gave him a 3 out of 10 rating, worse than in recent matches, the Spanish media outlet stated. It's not all sunshine and rainbows over in Madrid apparently. Trent is not looking great over there, getting slated by the Spanish media. Who could have guessed it? Who would have possibly predicted that this would have happened? Me, I predicted it. But yeah, not going great for Trent over there. Last up then from James Pearce, he was speaking about Liverpool's recent form and the run-in to basically get a Champions League spot. And he has said just over a month ago, Liverpool were 10 points behind Aston Villa. If they beat Wolves tonight, they will go above the Midlands outfit. Points taken from last 5 games. United have 13, Liverpool have 12, Brentford have 10, Chelsea have 8, and Villa have only 5. 5 points for Villa in the last 5 games. That is shocking, isn't it? Jesus. Like, I know like there was a lot of people saying they were overperforming their XG and their form wasn't like sustainable, but that's a big drop off, isn't it? Like 5 points from 15 available when you're sitting in third. That's not good enough, and I can see why Aston Villa fans are very upset at the minute because they really are just tumbling, and there's a very good chance they don't even finish top 5 now. Like, who knows? Like, if Liverpool keep playing the way they are, if United keep playing the way they are, if Chelsea have a bit of a bounce back, like, there's not out of the realms of possibility that Villa miss out on Champions League, which will be an absolute crying shame for them, given the position they have been in. Like, they were 10 points above us a couple of games ago, and now we're about to overtake them hopefully this evening. Like, it's crazy. That's all from me anyway. If you have enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. Craig will have a video out in the afternoon, I think a bit earlier, maybe like 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish. And then we'll be live from 7 o'clock this evening for Wolves versus Liverpool. So please join us for that one. We'll have our match reaction, player ratings, all that stuff. All the usual bits. You know the drill at this point. An Anfield Agenda match day is where it's at. So please come and join us for that one. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you very soon.